if you're lactose intolerant, you can't watch this movie because it's got so much cheese.
Sorry, yeah, I gotta go. You guys can do this on your own.
Nope, end it there. You agree 100%. I'm right.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Flix Fellas. We are going to be taking a look at the movie Extraction today. It's a Netflix original. I am joined by the constant Flix fella, Kevin Vahey, and a guest this evening. We have our friend Nick. Nick on board with us today.
How you doing, guys?
Welcome, Nick. I'm glad that you're joining us today. Honestly, this is better than Joe. Like, I'd rather Nick as the constant.
Full-time replacement. We're taking hires. This is actually an interview.
I hope Joe, like, as I know Joe isn't editing this one, I hope he just doesn't listen to our podcast and he doesn't do that. So don't
Kevin,
tell
we
him
need
I
all the
said-
viewers we can get. We need
yeah.
all the viewers we can get. All right. But yes, welcome, Nick. Lifelong friend. Me and Kevin and Nick have known each other since we were in, could walk. So, this will be a fun one.
Yep.
All right. So, let me do a little intro here for everyone. Extraction is a Netflix original action thriller movie starring Chris Hemsworth. These names are going to screw me up.
Nick, you just need to know that James always picks movies where he can't pronounce any of the actors' names. Like, any of them. Actor, director, he just doesn't know how to pronounce it. It's every fucking time. And here we go again.
It's your MO.
Listen, that's what happens when the movie is set in Bangladesh, okay? All right. So, it's an action thriller movie starring Chris Hemsworth, Randi Puda, Rud Hrash, Jaiswal. I messed that up completely. He was amazing in the movie. And David Harbour, in addition to a few other very notable actors and actresses. This movie was directed by Sam Hargrave, and is actually his feature directorial debut, and it was written by Joe Russo. This is a suspenseful action flick about Tyler Rake, an ex-military mercenary who is hired on a perilous extraction mission to evacuate a drug lord's son from Bangladesh. This movie is a bloody John Wick-style shooter from start to finish, and had me engaged the entire time. So we'll go to first reactions, and we will start with Kevin.
First off, I want to say, sorry, I was yelling at my dog. He was barking, and I know I was about to be up. So I was like, shut up. There he is. I hope you can't hear him. So I was cracking up just now, James, because you just pronounced two names so weird, but you know their names. Like, David Harbour is from Stranger Things, and that's kind of a spoiler, too, that he said his name. But you called him David Harbour, and then you said... then you said Joe Russo. It was so French. Joe Russo.
Joe Russo. Yeah, I know. Even though it's one of the Russo brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my first reactions on the movie, I thought it was pretty good. Like, it was just a shoot 'em up, like, action movie. It kept my attention for 2 hours. There wasn't anything special about the story or the acting or anything. Like, this movie did not stand out at all, but it was still fun to watch for 2 hours. But it seriously was a very basic,
like action flick.
straightforward action flick. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
exactly.
I agree. It's definitely
Yeah.
one of those things that, like, it didn't feel like a ton of leaps were taken, but it felt a lot like, but it wasn't, I don't think it was bad,
No,
like,
not at all. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was actually pretty good. But you're right, they didn't take any risks in this movie. They just did classic action, shoot 'em up, and yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Nick, big moment here. What were your first reactions?
So I'm going to piggyback off what you said. I generally agree, but one thing that I thought stood out a little bit was like the fight choreography, which I thought a lot of that was definitely like very entertaining to watch.
I agree.
Like, the story might not have been amazing. It wasn't bad. Nothing was bad about this movie, but like, what really stood out was the like fight choreography and fight scenes and all that fun stuff.
The fight choreography was awesome, and there wasn't like a lot of cuts like they usually do in like fighting. Like, it was kind of like James said, like John Wick style. Like, you're watching the whole fight,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely thought the same thing, Nick, and like kind of just to bounce off exactly what you said, and I did say John Wick, and like because they made a very very they made a point to keep shots continuous. Like there weren't a ton of cuts. You know what I mean? It was very much like you're following people into like a building or through like a series, like a road on the street or something like that. And even if the scene is what's it called? It's only happening in one room. They move the camera all the time. You know,
right?
Like, and it was a very dynamically shot movie.
It's very easy to follow because in a lot of movies like this, there are so many cuts. There's a lot of motion blur. There's like, you're just kind of like looking around the screen going, what did I just watch? But with this, it's very easy to watch because the camera follows the action very well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They do. There's one. So I don't know much. Joey is usually our like film, because he has a degree in film, you know what I mean? So like but like I don't know as much, but I know there's some method to the madness, especially when you're doing fight choreography. And there's one component I do want to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it more in the spoiler because it has more to do kind of with the characters. But I think I'm just going to bounce off you, and I'll go right into my first. So my first reactions as well. I thought it was a fun movie. That I was going to touch on the fight choreography. I thought it was very well done, and it was a very good, like, the story, the plot is very, it's very like, they don't take any risks, it's Extraction. Extraction is a very good way to explain the plot of the movie.
It's like, I mean, I don't want to get too into it right now but
it's not crazy. The plot is very like, this is like an action movie plot. Of the 6 basic ones, this is one of the 6.
I didn't watch any of the trailers, but I'm sure if I did watch a trailer, I would know everything I needed to know about that movie, in the trailer. There's
don't watch a trailer for this movie.
The funny part, now that you mentioned that, I did watch the trailer, and I don't even remember what it was about after I watched the trailer.
It's like one of those super unnotable trailers where you like watch it and then somebody's like, man, I just saw the trailer for Extraction. Wasn't that cool? And you're like, yeah, I saw that. And they're like, what'd you think? And you're like, I don't know.
That's exactly how it was for me. I watched it and I was like, I'm like, what's this about?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but generally it was a good movie. I thought it was a very fun ride, good action movie. I think I recommend a lot of action movies for the podcast, but this was like, I think it was well done. I think Chris Hemsworth's character was fun to watch. I do have some critiques, but it was like, there's a lot of video game logic in this movie, but it was fun. It was a good time. That's all I really have to say, but what do you, anybody else has got anything else for first reactions before we get into any spoilers?
I literally have no other feelings about this movie.
Yeah, that's
the end.
Pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Shortest podcast.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep, thanks Nick. Appreciate it. All right, guys.
See you guys.
So if that's the end, we're gonna do. We will see everyone else in the spoiler portion of the podcast. We'll cut it here, and we'll see you in a bit. Thanks. Thanks, everyone, for watching First Reactions. If you want to check out the full conversation we had about the movie, go check out the movie podcast on our channel. We really appreciate it. Please leave a comment and a like down below. It helps us out a lot. You can also let us know what you want to see next. So, thanks again. Signing off for now.